All right, let's do our speaking practice again. And we are at part 1 again, back to day 1. Back to part 1. All right, so let's continue with 11. It's about New Year celebration. So, Mr. Mink, do you celebrate New Year? Because some people, they don't celebrate it, you know?
Yes, to me, New Year marks a new year of working and studying. So I will celebrate New Year every year, and that's meant a lot to me. So I can say that New Year's boasts about huge chances for me to review the previous year and to
To
uh,
review?
review
Review the previous year, right. Okay, that's better.
to review to review the previous year and start to make a list of what I should do in the next year.
Right, so how do you celebrate New Year then?
Well, normally I would celebrate the New Year's Eve with my friends and family, and then on the first day of the New Year, I would go to each one of my relatives' house, and then we celebrate the New Year with them. So I receive a lot of lucky money there, and then I will go back home, uh, counting all the lucky money I have received, and I will use it to buy some gold, and then I think that's the end of New Year's to me, and I would start uh, planning some aim for the new year.
All right. Do you think New Year celebration are necessary? Nó cần thiết không? Like, you know, some people they start to question whether New Year is necessary or not because, you know, it's very stressful before the New Year, right? Because people have to kind of clean their home, try to wipe away the dust, try to wipe away all the things to make their home brand new again. And also they have to buy new clothes, and then the prices of everything is increasing. It increases before the new year, and also it's just, you know, many people feel like it doesn't really hold the meaning anymore. It's not that meaningful like they want it to be, you know. But do you think New Year celebrations are necessary?
Yes, undoubtedly. Spending time and money on celebrating New Year, I think it means a lot, you know. Uh, when you can change your appearance, and you can bring about time. You can spend time and money you can spend time with with our children, and we can also have time to to spend with our relatives or our grandparents when while in the in well, why in the previous year we didn't have much time to spend with them. So I believe that New Year's celebration helps us to um, stay closer to our relatives and our loved ones. So yeah, I think New Year's celebration means a lot and it's really necessary for everyone.
Okay, right. Do you still remember a New Year that you celebrated? Like,
Well,
there has to be a New Year that left a good impression on you, you know, that you still remember it because of some you know, experiences that happened, you know.
well, yeah. I remember a New Year's celebration that is about 1 year ago. Yeah, I guess, and it was the time when I go to go to the market and sell some small decorations that we use to decorate the tree in our house during the New Year celebration. You know,
Mm-hmm.
and and I made a lot of money from that, and I felt really happy. And
Wow.
also that's the time when my brother have just married his wife, so my family welcome a new member, so that make a huge impression on me about that New Year celebration, and I would still remember and keep that moment in mind till the end of my life.
Mm-hmm. I see. Do you have any ceremonies to celebrate the New Year in your country or hometown? According to what I remember, there are about 4,000 different kind of festival and ceremony in Vietnam. Có gần 4.000 cái lễ hội lớn nhỏ khác nhau về trong cả một năm á, ở Việt Nam á. Like you have spring festivals, we have every provinces and small villages have their own tradition and their own festival, their own event as well, you know. So do you have any ceremonies to celebrate the New Year in your country or hometown?
Well, I guess we don't have any ceremony. You know that in our modern days, people are busy with their work. They have to go, they have to spend their little time to spend their little time on each relative's house. So I believe that they just spend about um, one or 1 or 2 hours is maximum. So yeah, I believe that we don't have any ceremony to do because it's so time wasting, you know, and also it demands a lot of efforts to do celebrate these ceremonies. So it's
Okay.
um kind of money wasting.
Okay, kind of money wasting, I see. There, basically, I think Vietnamese people celebrate a lot. Well,
Yeah.
okay, next one. Why do you think that New Year is a new beginning? Why people think that New Year is a new beginning? Tại sao có người ta lại nghĩ rằng năm mới là một khởi đầu mới?
Well, I think it depends on their mood on the new year, you know, because many bad things had happened in the previous year, so that they were in a bad mood. But when it's New Year's Eve, they feel like all the bad moods that should be left in the previous year, and they should head to a brighter year, so that
Mm-hmm.
they believe that New Year is a new beginning. They should start to work hard and to end all the bad things that happened in the previous year, and they would go to victories in the new year. So
Mm-hmm.
I believe that real New Year is a new beginning.
I see. All right, we can go to part 2 and part 3 now. Let's do more today. Okay, we have 11 New Year celebration. And now let's go to part 2 and part 3. Okay, let's try 23. Describe an occasion when you were not allowed to use your mobile phone. Miêu tả một cái dịp mà lúc đó bạn đã không được sử dụng điện thoại di động. You should say when it was, where it was, why you were not allowed to use it, and explain how you felt about not using it. And then we have part 3 of phones. How do young and old people use mobile phones differently? Người già và người trẻ sử dụng điện thoại di động khác nhau như thế nào? Think about the hours, the number of hours that they spend, and what programs or what apps they use on phones, what activity they do, and what they use the phone for. Like that. And then what positive and negative impact do mobile phone have on friendship? Cái điện thoại di động á, nó có cái tác động tích cực và tiêu cực gì lên trên tình bạn không? Think about the fact that people always post things online, you know, it can cause it can spark controversy. Nó có thể dấy nên những cái sự mà tranh luận, tranh cãi như online controversy, you know. And think about the fact that people can know everything about you using like mobile phone on social media, you know. And sometimes your friends know more about you than you think. So how does it affect your friendship? And also, like, if you accidentally like or love a picture or content of someone, would your lover be jealous about it? You know?
Oh.
You know, things could happen that way, remember?
Yeah.
If you accidentally do that, don't think that your lover won't know. They knew it because the algorithm of the social media app will show them. So they will know for sure, you know?
Yes, that's right.
And it can affect your friendship or your relationship greatly. But this question is about friendship, you know, remember.
Yeah.
But also good impact, it can help, like, you know, messaging a very immediate experience. An immediate experience. Một cái trải nghiệm ngay tức khắc, tức là không cần phải chờ gì cả. And it's also free too. So communication can improve somehow too. Okay, is it a waste of time to take pictures with mobile phones? Có phải một sự phí phạm thời gian để chụp hình với điện thoại động không? It means that, you know, mobile phones, even though how good they are, they cannot compete with like true camera, right? Very high quality camera, right?
Yes.
Nó cố tình làm vậy mà. They intentionally made it that way so that true cameras can still survive. Okay. Do you think it's necessary to have laws on the use of mobile phones? Bạn có nghĩ rằng cần thiết phải có những điều luật về sử dụng điện thoại động không? Like, for example, you're not allowed to use it more than how many hours, for example. Không được dùng điện thoại quá bao nhiêu tiếng chẳng hạn. Or you are not allowed to post things, personal things online, or share things that belong to the others online, you know, something like that. And if someone reported you, you can be fined a certain amount of money, something like that. Be creative. Okay, you have 1 minute. Okay, time to talk about it. Describe an occasion when you were not allowed to use your mobile phone.
Yeah, I'm going to talk about the exam I have taken. That was about one month ago, and at that time, all the people in the room, they must not use mobile phone, and I believe that it was obvious, you know, because taking an exam means that you have to make use of all the knowledge that you have stored that we have stored in our brain. So having a cell phone beside us to get help from outside of the room is is abundant, you know. So we don't need that cell phone. We have to make we have to be self-reliant and have to brainstorm, have to show our skills we have honed all the time.
Just a moment, please.
Yes.
Alright, can you describe again an occasion when you were not being allowed to use your mobile phone, please? Be careful with the verb tense, okay? Cẩn thận với cái động từ á.
Yes.
Okay.
Well, I'm going to describe a time when I was taking an exam and all the people in the room, they must not use the mobile phone. And I believe that it was obvious, because taking like an exam means that all people, all the candidates, they had to make use of their knowledge, and that is stored in their brain. So having a cell phone besides is not necessary, and I mean, it was in terms of their knowledge, they have to take responsible with themselves. So
Responsibility. Have to take responsibility for.
yes,
Well, I
take
have to be responsible for.
have to be they have to be responsible for themselves. So their knowledge, they should not be interrupted, or they should not use um, their their phone in order to get help from outside of the room. So it's really so having a cell phone beside us when we're taking an exam is abundant, and I feel that that is obvious, and it also helps us to maintain our discipline. So yes, at that occasion I believe that not using a mobile phone is necessary, and it's a part of the law, so no one can go against it.
Okay, good. So, how do young and old people use mobile phones differently then?
Well, I believe that it depends on each person, because the old people, most of them, they are not familiar with the new technology nowadays. So we can see that many old people, they just use mobile phone to make call, or just normally they just learn m- some basic function of the phone, so that they can FaceTime, or
What is
they can
FaceTime? They can use the app FaceTime to
yes, to
remember that don't expect people to know like to FaceTime. What does this mean to FaceTime, you know? Like you
yeah,
should
okay,
explain to use FaceTime app to
to use
call
FaceTime
people
to
for
call
free.
people to call people for free, so that they can talk, and they can spend time with their with their relatives, with their family members easily, and so that the old people, they just take a little advantage of their mobile phone. But when it comes to the young generation, they are familiar with the new technology nowadays, so normally they would take a lot of advantage of their phone. Some of them, they even use their mobile phone to make money online, you know, and most of them, they would just use their phone for finding information online, or they would play games, or entertain, or searching for entertainment on social networking sites. So I believe that the young generation use a lot of mobile phone, but when it comes to the old generation, most of them, they would not use mobile phones so much. They just take a little bit advantage of their phone. So
Mm-hmm.
that's why I think they use differently.
So, what do you think? What positive and negative impact do mobile phones have on friendship then?
Well, when we look on the positive side, on we can see that having a mobile phone brings about a lot of advantages for us to maintain a friendship. We can text and send messages in just about and it doesn't need a second to send a message. So we can see that communicating online is immediately, so it's
It's
really
immediate.
convenient.
It's immediate, right?
It's immediate, so we can communicate with our friends easily, and also we can make phone calls, and also we can when we can we take an when we take a project, we can find something online and we can send them to our teammates, and that's really easy, you know. And that and for that reason I believe that it has a lot of positive impacts on friendship. And in terms of negative impact, we can see that in our modern lives, sometimes when we were searching on when we were surfing on social networking sites, we would find a lot of pictures about beautiful girls or sexy ones, and if our and and the algorithm of the apps would calculate uh, and uh, send more pictures of them to our feed. So I believe that if our loved ones, especially our lover, like girlfriends or wife, see this, they would make an argument, and that would cause some problems to to us. And for that reason, friendship can break, and so that our love would go to an end. And
Right.
also,
Oh, wait. Don't confuse friendship and love relationship, you know?
yeah,
I think you are confused you're confused with love and friendship. So be careful with this one, okay?
okay, uh,
They are not the same, remember.
okay.
Okay, so is it a waste of time to take pictures with mobile phones, don't you think?
Well, I believe it depends, you know, because when we go into a museum,
Mm-hmm.
we would see that all the things that are on display, they are really great, and would love to save those pictures. But when we come home, we can say that we rarely review those pictures, and I would say that it's a waste of my memory of the phone. So I believe that taking those pictures are a waste of time. For that reasons, for that reason, in those occasions, we should enjoy to memorize all the things that we see in the museum, so that it lives in our brain, not
In
in
our
our
mind.
phone, in
It
our mind.
lives in our mind. Nghe tự nhiên hơn rất nhiều.
Yeah, it
Sounds
lives
much
in
more
our mind.
natural. You know, sounds much more natural if you say it lives in our mind.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
so that it lives in our mind, and we don't
Mm-hmm.
need a phone to cap those pictures. And but on other occasions like family reunion, you know,
Mm-hmm.
taking pictures are really important. It marks a time when the family unite, and all the love members in our family. So taking a picture, and many years passed, new members came in, and we take another picture, and so that when we look back to the past, we can say that wow, we have
We had.
gone
We
we
had.
had gone yes, we can say that wow, we had gone a long journey. So I believe that taking pictures on those occasions are really important.
Mm-hmm. All right. So, do you think it's necessary to have laws on the use of mobile phones? I think you should explain like what happened. Why do we need a law,
Hmm.
or why we do not need a law? Yeah.
Well, I, well, in my opinion, I would say that uh, I would say that impose law on the use of mobile phone is definitely not recommended, you know, because mobile phones are private property, so we can do whenever
Mobile
what
phone is private
is
property. Tài sản cá nhân,
private
private
property.
property. Very good.
And so for that reason, we have the right to do anything with our property. So um, I believe that uh, control our use of mobile phone is really hard, you know, because we don't know what each people do. So imposing law on the use of mobile phones seems pointless and useless, you know. And for that reason, I believe that laws are un- unnecessary when imposing on the use of mobile phone, which is should have some regulations, you know, because it's like we should have some warning instead of banning.
Right, just a warning, right?
Yes.
Even in very strict very strict law, like in countries where laws are very strict, they wouldn't ban this one, or restrict the hours on phones, just for children, I think.
Yeah.
They're restricted using like apps on phone, but I don't think it's a law, right? All right, so let's try something else now. Okay, try 28. Describe an occasion when you lost your way. Miêu tả một cái dịp nơi mà bạn đã lạc đường. When you lost your way. Đừng có nhầm tưởng cái bài này với lại cái chuyện mà lạc lối trong cuộc sống nha. Don't be confused with being lost in life, you know. This is just lost your way. You don't know where to go right now. Một cái dịp nơi mà bạn lạc đường thôi. You should say where you were, what happened, how you felt, and explain how you found your way. And then part 3 about getting lost. Cái chuyện bị lạc đường. What are some reasons why people get lost? Tại sao? Có những lý do gì tại sao con người ta lại bị lạc đường? Think about some people are just bad at navigating,
Yes.
Bad at navigating. For example, I often get lost. Yes, true. And it's hard for me to remember the road, the way sometimes. If I travel a fixed route, then I remember it, of course. But if I have to travel a long way everywhere, I have to use the help of Google Maps, which is a tool to help me navigate my way around. That's one thing. You might think of other reasons. Có thể một số người họ nó có mấy dạng trí thông minh lận, nhưng mà cái thông minh về cái mặt mà vận động hoặc là không gian của họ không được tốt lắm. Maybe there are several types of intelligence, but there are spatial intelligent. Their spatial intelligence is not that good. So it's hard for them to navigate around the space. Hơi khó cho họ để mà họ có thể nhanh chóng mà họ di chuyển trong một không gian rồi đó. Hoặc là tìm đường chẳng hạn. To find the way, it's hard for them sometimes.
Yes.
Or there could be other reasons why they get lost. For example, because they just forget the way, Sometimes, some days just bad.
Yeah.
Why some people get lost more easily than others? Tại sao một số người lại lạc đường dễ dàng hơn những người khác? And how can people find their way when they are lost? Làm thế nào cho con người ta tìm ra đường khi mà họ bị lạc? And do you think it's important to do some preparation before you travel to new places? Bạn có nghĩ là nên chuẩn bị trước khi mà mình đi đến một nơi nào mới hay không? Like for example, preparation for visa, preparation for paperwork, preparation for clothes and equipment, something like that, Is it important? And I think it's better to discuss like what you do at a new places, so you can think of an appropriate preparation,
Yes.
Like for example, if you go to a new place for studying abroad, then you need lots and lots of preparation before that. But if you just travel to a new place for fun, then maybe ask for visa, maybe to go travel abroad, and then maybe buy new clothes or buy a suitcase, something like that. Or if you just go to a new place because you move out of your house, what would you need to prepare for, you know?
Yeah.
Think about those things. You have some time now.
Yeah.
Describe an occasion when you lost your way, please. Careful with the past tense.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to describe a time when I was traveling home on my way to after taking a class, and at first I traveled to the house of the house of a friend of my mother, and she teaches chemistry, and at that time I was really bad at chemistry, and so that I have to take class at her home. Took class at her home, and after taking class, I traveled to home using Google Map, you know.
I travel to home. I travel to home. Okay,
I
Google Map.
traveled
Okay.
to home using Google Map, you know, and at first I was pretty nervous, but I was sure that the Google Map would lead me to home, and but later it led me to the field all
Oh my
all the
gosh.
way. And you know, it just um, uh, the network in a countryside area in the countryside, and it's like a spider net, and that's really complicated. So that I was broken, and I turned off the Google Map. I find my way back to the house of my to the house of my teacher, and at that time, I decided not to use Google Map anymore. I traveled to home using my instinct to lead me home. I try to figure out which route is familiar to me, and after about 20 minutes, I have found my way back home. And
After 20 minutes, I found my way. Or
yes,
I
I
had
found
found. Quá khứ hoàn thành. Past
after
perfect. After
I
some
had
20 minutes,
found
I had found my way. Or I found, thực sự là quá khứ thôi được rồi. Không có cần
yeah
thiết phải phức tạp. Just use
yes
simple past, you know. After
yes
20 minutes, I found my way, okay?
after 20 minutes, I found my way back to home. So that was a great
I
experience to
think
me.
people often say, after 20 minutes, I found my way back home. Not back to home, you know. Nó không nghe
Yeah.
tự nhiên lắm đó, mà back to home, you know.
Yeah. After 20 minutes, I found my way back. I found my way back home, and to me, that was an unforgettable experience, and that gives me a lesson that Google Map does not help us when we're traveling
Oh my
in
god.
the in the in those street system of a country, a rural area.
Oh my god. It's horrible when it comes to the street system of the rural area, you know.
Yeah.
But I believe that they are trying to improve day by day.
Yes. I couldn't imagine why there could be a route at the field, you know, because there's no route there. It's
Okay.
just
You know,
because it's
when Elon Musk activated all of his satellites, and he's going to create like something even better than Google Map, I'm sure.
oh
But we all have hope for him, though, somehow.
yeah
And the biggest hope is, you know, space internet. It's going to be even way better than cable internet, you know. No restriction from the government, very high download speed, very high upload speed, and then I can just live stream all day without interruption at like HD, full HD, you know.
wow
Like very high quality live streaming. You know, that's just a dream, because actually we have to pay like 10 times more for the internet if we choose that option, and unfortunately in Vietnam there's no internet from Elon Musk yet. Anyway, So what are some reasons why people get lost then?
Well, in my experience, I believe that people get lost due to the fact that they previously thought that they traveled on the right route, because just when they think they are going in the right route, and when they found themselves in the on a whole unfamiliar place, and at that time they found out that they had got lost. And so for that reason, and also I believe that people get lost due to wrong what can I say, due to wrong guide, because they just hear some
Guy, are
guide.
you sure? Don't use the word guy, okay? A wrong
uh,
person. Đừng có dùng mấy cái từ
Alright.
lóng từ đó trong IELTS nha, đi thi mà. Don't use those words in IELTS exam. Use a wrong person, let's just say.
What
Remember,
pause?
in the IELTS exam, it's a formal situation, một cái tình huống trịnh trọng đi thi mà nha. Cẩn thận nha, không có dùng mấy cái từ mà nó quá là xuồng xả hoặc là quá tiếng lóng là hơi bị mệt á. Không có dùng cool, không có dùng guys, không có dùng kid, something like that, you know. Just use person. Okay, try again.
Well, I would answer all at the beginning. Well, well, in my experience, I believe that one reason why people get lost is that they thought that they had gone in the right route at the first place, because so that they after traveling for some time, and they found themselves in a whole strange place, and so that time they would found that they had got lost. And then also I believe that another reason why people get lost is that they travel on by they travel by the wrong leading guy,
Wait,
because
the
some
what? The what say again? The wrong leading what?
the wrong leading instruction, yeah, you know
Guide or instruction. Yeah, very good.
instruction, because some people when they travel to a new city or travel to a new area, they would ask the people there to lead them to the destination they want, so that the wrong instruction would lead them to wrong place. So that I believe that there's a lot another this is another reason. And also it can be attributed to wrong instructor, like Google Map. There are many cases in our modern lives that Google Map lead us to wrong places, to a wrong route, so that is kind of problem for us to use these apps, and that's why many people get lost.
Okay, so why some people get lost more easily than others then? Giờ so sánh như người với người
Well,
nè.
I believe that
Why
yes,
it's the same
yes.
people, but why some people get lost more easily than others?
Well, to the best of my knowledge, I believe that it comes to the method of memorizing street, because some people we some people use the method of memorizing objects or some scenery on their way, but other people they would try to mm, memorize the time they should travel on this route, how for how long, and then they would get to the destination they want. Because my mother, she used that method, because she just traveled, she just what can I say, memorize how much time she needs to travel to this or how much time she should spend on travel on this street, and then she would turn right or and travel for about how long. And so that and for that reason she is really bad at memorizing routes, because we travel on this route on different time periods. So that is really incorrect
Right.
uh, to memorize route on that method. So that I believe that it depends on our method, and also it could be attributed to spatial
Could be
intelligence,
attributed to. Could be attributed to.
attributed to spatial intelligence. And for
To
that
what?
reason
Say again. To
many
what?
people and for that reason many people get lost more easily than others.
Right. Okay, so how can people find their way when they are lost then? You already mentioned some ways, but they don't work for everybody, don't they?
Yeah. Well, for
Like for
some people,
example, yeah.
for some people, I believe that they can use their method of memorizing object on their route, so that when they found themselves in a whole strange way, strange in a whole strange place, they would go back on the route they have traveled and find a familiar way to go back to their previous destination. And for that reason they should use their instinct to lead them home. So that's one way to find way when they get lost. Or also we can use some apps like Google Map to help us find ways. So I believe that there are many ways to find our way when we get lost.
Right. So, do you think it's important to do some preparation before you travel to new places? Remember that I told you this question can be split into several situations depending on what you travel to new places for, you know?
Yeah.
Okay, try it.
Well, yeah, definitely. You know that, and also it depends on each occasion, Sometimes when we have to travel abroad to study or to live there, we have to prepare a lot of things, just like a visa or identification or paperwork, and also some food or some kind of equipments. And for that reason, and also on other occasion, like we just travel abroad or
Mm-hmm.
we would travel in our country to get out to another place to for traveling, which is planning some um, needy some needing equipments for us to survive or to enjoy well in the place we are heading to. And but when on some occasions, like we just moving from our homes to a relative our a home of our relatives to chat with them and to spend time chatting with them, I think there's no need to prepare anything. Just go to their house and spending time with them, chat with them, so
Mm-hmm.
that there's no need to prepare anything. And so for that reason,
Prepare.
I believe that
Prepare.
prepare. So
Mm-hmm.
I
There's no
believe
need to
that
prepare anything.
yeah. So it's important uh, to prepare for some occasion, but normally in our occasion, but there are also some cases in our modern life that we do not need to prepare anything.
Mm-hmm. I see. I see. Right. Okay, so let's continue with another topic now. So we did 28. Yes. Let's do 30. Let's do 32 then. Okay, 32. We have another one here. Yeah. Okay, so 32. Describe a skill that you think you can teach other people. Miêu tả một kỹ năng bạn nghĩ bạn có thể dạy cho người khác được. You should say what it is, who you can teach, bạn có thể dạy ai được nè. How you can teach others, làm thế nào bạn có thể dạy được người khác. Explain how you feel about teaching others, bạn cảm thế nào về chuyện dạy cho người khác học. And then it can be a skill, một kỹ năng nào đó. A skill, like for example, you can teach your brother or sister how to play a game, for example, or how to play sports, for example, or a language actually. Okay, part 3. Should teachers make jokes or be funny when they teach? Những người giáo viên có nên là pha trò đùa hoặc là vui vẻ, mắc cười, buồn cười khi họ dạy hay không? Is it like something that is required, or is it a good thing, or is it a bad thing to make jokes or be funny when they teach? Nó tùy vào trường hợp đối tượng người học đó nha. It depends on what kind of learners, you know. Sometimes it can backfire. Đôi khi nó có thể nó phản tác dụng á. To backfire. You know. Alright, so what quality should teachers have and why? Những người giáo viên nên có những phẩm chất gì? Tại sao? Which do you think is more important, practical skill or academic skills? Bạn nghĩ cái nào quan trọng hơn? Kỹ năng về thực tế hay là kỹ năng về gọi là học thuật á, học vấn? Which age group is the best at learning new things and why? Nhóm tuổi nào là tốt nhất ở chuyện học những điều mới, tại sao? It's not always children, you know. Because according to my experience, a lot of skills require people to reach a certain age to be able to understand clearly the concepts on everything they learn, you know. Không phải lúc nào cũng trẻ nhỏ là học lẻ nhất đâu nha, không có chuyện đó đâu. Có nhiều cái kỹ năng cần phải đạt được một độ tuổi nào đó, đòi hỏi phải có cái bằng này bằng kia, hoặc là cái kỹ năng trước đó nữa thì mới học nổi. Like it is called prerequisite, you know. Prerequisite, điều đòi hỏi trước đó để có thể làm được một chuyện gì đó sau đó. Ví dụ prerequisite cho cái môn B thì phải học được môn A rồi mới được học môn B chẳng hạn. Like subject A, subject for example, subject A is a prerequisite for subject B, for example, you know. You will know it when you go to the university, especially when you have to take credits, you know. Have to do credit system, hệ tín chỉ, credit system. Okay, so like for example IELTS. The best age group I think to learn IELTS is high schoolers. High schoolers, or maybe even more than that. Like students, you know, in the university. Because a lot of things in the IELTS exam, it's very difficult for people to grasp. Even though if I teach people in high school, they still think it's very difficult, you know. Dù có dạy high school, người ta vẫn cảm thấy rất là khó, you know. Nói gì đến trẻ nhỏ, trời ơi.
Yes, phần chính trị chả hiểu gì.
Thiệt luôn á, học mà hời hợt để có chứng chỉ thôi là không hiểu gì đâu, thiệt. Học thấy nó phí lắm luôn á. Có nhiều người nói cho con học lớp 4, lớp 5 học IELTS được chưa, trời ơi. Vô học bài về vũ trụ khóc thét. Thiệt luôn á. Anyway, you have some time to think now. Alright, you can talk about it now. Describe a skill that you think you can teach other people.
Yes. Well, I'm going to describe a skill that is football skills, and Normally, I would just show off my skills on the playground in a way that is effective, and so that I can defeat my opponent. And a lot of my friends admire me, and so that I think that I can teach them, and also I can teach my cousin. And I would normally, in order to teach them, I just teach them how to do how to do each movement, and how to mitigate all the unnecessary action and just focus on the
I
productivity.
think it's better to say unnecessary move.
Yeah,
Những cái
unnecessary
động thái
move.
thừa, động tác thừa. Unnecessary moves, okay? Chứ phải
Okay,
action. Unnecessary moves.
unnecessary move, and just focus on productivity. And I myself find it's pretty funny, but also sometimes it's quite irritating. You know, just many people they possess low intelligence in those fields, and for that reason, it causes them difficulties to understand and
Oh, come
perform
on.
well.
Not
So that I
everyone
believe,
is as smart as you in sport, you know?
yeah, and so that I believe that in order to become a teacher, I have to be really tolerant and calm, so that I can express all my ideas, and I can inspire my students so that they can learn well, they can learn better, and they can perform more effective.
More effectively.
Yeah, more
Right,
effectively.
remember that not everyone has the same kind of intelligence as you do.
Yeah,
And to be able to do sports well, you need
kinesthetic.
kinesthetic intelligence, you know.
Yeah,
Nó cần cái gọi là trí thông minh vận động á. Kinesthetic intelligence. If people are low in that, it would take a much longer amount of time for them to understand moves and things. I have low kinesthetic intelligence.
mm.
So I struggle with sports and things like that in the past, but actually I do play piano very well, so I have musical intelligence. So it's kind
Ooh.
of make up for that, I think.
Yeah, that's right.
I think. Okay,
And
so
I
let's go
myself
to
find,
say again.
I myself, I myself find playing musical instruments really difficult. You know, I try to learn how to play the guitar or play the flute, but I gave up after just 1 week.
All right. Okay, so should teachers make jokes or be funny when they teach?
Well, yes, definitely, but I think that jokes should be regulated, you know, because many teachers nowadays they make jokes about the appearance of of their students, like body shaming, you know. But so while the student find it all right, there's no problem, but the teacher find it funny, so I think that is kind of kind of rude, you know, so that making jokes about the appearance of the student, like body shaming is should be banned, or so that. And but when it comes to making jokes or be funny when teaching, we can see that it helps to maintain a positive atmosphere of the class, so that the students can find themselves are not under pressure, so that they can mitigate their stress. So that I believe that making jokes is really important when teaching, but the jokes should be regulated in order to not disappoint or disappoint any students.
Right, I see. Disappoint? Really? Disappoint? I think it's the student that should not disappoint teachers, not the other way around, don't you think? Don't you
Well,
think?
mm, yeah.
Yeah, but it depends on what you think too. Yeah, sometimes teachers need to be good enough for the students to admire and they can learn better,
Yeah,
I think.
yeah, that's
Like
right.
so nếu mà like yeah, I know that if teachers are not skilled enough and not talented enough, the student would not respect them enough to learn, you know.
Yeah, that's
And I
right.
know that
That
for a fact.
Yes, that's what I have a problem with my previous teacher, and
What
I have
happened?
to. She I learned 1v1 with a foreign teacher of my previous English center, and she was like low in his skills. Like when I asked her to do how she can do this part two, and she was like she cannot do this, and that disappointed me. And so that for that reason give up. I gave up studying with her, and um, I I study with you.
Mm. Well, that create a scar, was it?
Yeah.
Vậy là một
Yes.
vết sẹo nhỉ? That created a scar, was it? Okay, so what quality should teachers have and why? What do you think?
Well, I believe that teachers should be tolerate, because
What should be what? Should be what?
tolerate.
Tolerant, tính từ.
Yeah,
Adjective, to be
tolerant.
tolerant.
Yes, tolerant. Like many students, they have different quality of intelligence in different fields, so that teachers they cannot expect their students to good at
To
all of
be good
their
at, to be good at.
to be good at their subject, and for that reason, teachers they have to be really tolerant, and they can so that they can keep calm enough to teach those students when they make a lot of faults and
Yes, a lot of mistakes.
yes, a lot of mistakes, and so that I believe that also besides tolerant teachers they should have to be knowledgeable enough in their field so that they can earn other earn the students respect so that they can inspire them and express their ideas and so that they can teach well.
Right, I see. Don't you think there's also the problem of what's it called? You know, talent. Because teaching is not a simple thing, you know. You need to
Yeah,
understand the psychology of students, don't you think so?
yeah, that's right.
And also, um, they need to learn how, you know, the method of teachings is called methodology. Cái
Hmm.
phương pháp dạy học á, method of teaching, methodology.
Methodology.
And yeah, and also they need to understand very well the psychology of student, hiểu được cái tâm lý học trò là một điều rất là quan trọng đúng không ạ?
Hmm.
And so you know how to help the students effectively, don't you think?
Yes.
Because if I don't understand your psychology well, I cannot help you effectively. So whatever
Yeah.
I advise you, whatever we do might just be very superficial. Nó sẽ rất là bề mặt nông nổi thôi, chứ nó không có đụng trúng vào cái vấn đề mà mình gặp phải, you know.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yes, I understand.
Okay. Now, so which do you think is more important? Practical skills or academic skills then?
Well, I believe that they are equally important because when it comes to academic skills, it means that you are knowledgeable enough in your field. So practical skills help you to possess those academic skills effectively. So that I believe that practical skills and academic skills is like yin and yang, and it helps each other. So in order to succeed in any field, people should have both of them so that they can success and to get to
They can
success.
succeed. They can
Succeed.
or they can achieve success. Dùng danh từ cũng được.
Yes, they can achieve success
Uh-huh.
when they have masters both practical skills and academic skills.
Good. Right. So, which age group is the best at learning new things and why? I told you before, it's not that simple like people think.
Yeah. Well, I believe that it would be attributed to the adolescents, because like
What do you mean?
in at this age group, people are people they are old enough to they have their self awareness and they can learn new things like survival skills, and also they would learn they would I would say that at this age group, they can adapt new technology better other than other age group, as they are living in their learning learning period of life. So that's why I think this age group is the best at learning new things.
Uh-huh. I see. I see. So you mean the adults, like at what age? Like about more than 18 years old?
Adolescents, well, adolescents
Adolescents are basically more than teens. You know, teenagers
yeah.
are 12 to 13. Adolescents are from 13 to 17 years old. Tuổi vị thành niên mà từ 14 đến 17 ấy.
Nope, em đọc trong sách nó là từ 11 đến 19.
What? The book said that? Really?
Yeah.
Moment. Need to check. Because some books, I don't know, some books they say different things, you know?
Yeah, I learned it.
Adolescent.
Sách giáo khoa bảo vệ.
Alright, what age is adolescent? 10 to 19, yeah, they say that in here. It's not 11, it's 10 to 19.
Yeah.
It's weird, right?
Yeah.
Adolescent is a phase of life between childhood and adulthood. Khoảng thời gian từ tuổi con nít đến thành người lớn thì nó là cái khoảng tuổi mà vị thành niên, 9 năm lận ghê vậy.
Yeah.
It's 9 years really?
Yes. Vậy nên nhóm này là học đẳng cấp nhất rồi.
Well, but to some people, I believe that if they are in secondary schools, they are not the best at learning either. I think maybe high school is better, I think, if you talk about IELTS, yeah.
Yes.
But if you talk about studying other things, like for example, you need to graduate. There's a reason why you need to graduate from high school in order to go to university, you know. You should not start that before you reach the age of like 18, something like that. Nó có lý do tại sao phải xong cấp 3 rồi, gần 18 tuổi rồi mới vô đại học nha. That's the reason why. Because in college, everything's just different, you know. Right. And I also teach people how to play the piano. So a lot of people, they ask me the same question. I have a daughter which is like 3 years old. Should they learn with me? And I said no. Because most of the time it's like forcing them to learn, you know. And forcing them to learn, I hate that. I hate forcing people, you know, to do something they don't want to. So I said maybe let's wait until they're really until they are teenage years. If they really want to learn, they will come to teachers, you know.
Yeah.
And then parents said that's not true, because the children of my neighbors, they start learning at 3 too. And I'm like, okay, fine, and you go to those places. I'm not gonna teach your daughter or son then. Hay so sánh ớn luôn.
Yeah.
You know, people always compare. You know, they always compare. They think that their children can do everything that the other children of their neighbors or whoever they know is capable of, you know, are capable of. Alright, so let's draw another topic. Okay, let me find something a little bit more challenging for you. Try 40. Okay, I need to make this question a bit, make this one a bit easier to see. Hold on. Describe, okay, 40 then. Describe a time when you felt very bored. Miêu tả một thời điểm mà bạn cảm thấy rất là chán. You should say when it was, who you were with, lúc đó bạn ở với ai, what you were doing, lúc đó bạn đang làm gì. Explain why you felt bored. And then part 3 of feeling bored. When do people feel bored and why? Khi nào con người ta cảm thấy chán, tại sao? Well, people can be bored because of a lot of reasons, you know. You might have a lot of ideas in this.
Yes.
And what do people usually do when they've got nothing to do? Khi con người ta không có gì để làm, con người ta sẽ làm gì? It's a funny question. I can just answer, they do nothing. But you cannot answer like that, right?
Yeah.
You're not.
Vậy nào bored nó khác với sad đúng không ạ?
Bored chỉ là nhàm chán thôi, còn sad là nó buồn. Nhiều khi em nhàm chán mà không buồn thì sao? Yeah, sometimes like, yeah, you're just bored because you've been doing the same thing again and again. Khi mình làm cái gì đó cứ liên tục ngày này tháng nọ y chang như vậy, you would feel very bored, but you might not feel sad, you know.
Yes.
Okay, so what do people usually do when they've got nothing to do? And do children get bored more than the past? Why not? Trẻ nhỏ có bị cảm thấy nhàm chán hơn trong quá khứ hay không? Tại sao không? And do you think boredom can bring some benefits? Bạn có nghĩ sự nhàm chán có thể đem đến một số lợi ích hay không?
Yeah, okay.
Okay. You know, there's a research. They say that if you are too bored, you can actually die because of boredom. Truly, you know. Thực sự là có thể chết vì nhàm chán, nó có thật nha. Bored to death is actually a real thing, you know. But cuộc sống mà tẻ nhạt nó cứ liên tục như vậy thì nó có thể gây ra boredom rất là dễ dàng. Our life, a very monotonous. A very monotonous lifestyle is actually very boring. But if you feel bored, maybe it's a signal that your brain is trying to be more creative to, you know, create stimulus, you know. Nó giống như là cái não mình á, khi mình thấy nó nhàm chán quá rồi, tự động não nó sẽ sản sinh ra những cái kích thích để mà nó cố tình nó làm cho nó kích cái não lên, nó hoạt động thêm, you know. So maybe you can think of like creative ideas when you're bored.
Yeah.
Giống như là cái liên tưởng là nhiều khi đang ngồi chán quá, ê mày làm gì tao cho chán quá mày ơi. Hay là làm này đi. See? Đó, đôi khi mình hay nghĩ được những cái ý tưởng mới. You can come up with new ideas when you're really bored, you know. But yeah, that's one benefit I can think of. But otherwise, I think boredom, it's when your brain signal you that you have been doing the same thing monotonously, you know. And it's time to challenge yourself with new things. So maybe the brain will try to think of new endeavors or new things to do. And it can improve your life somehow, you know. Nó có thể cải thiện cuộc sống của mình một số cách nào đó. Tại vì cái cơ thể, cái não bộ mình nó sẽ tìm cách nó tạo ra những cái điều mới mẻ chẳng hạn. Right, this is challenging. Sometimes I think that... Okay, let's do it. Describe a time when you felt very bored.
Yes. Well, I'm going to describe the time when I was preparing for the IELTS test. and I have to say that I learned it by myself at home. And also, I attended some classes online, and so that I have to create a daily routine, you know, just do these things every day, so that I would gain new knowledge and reviewing all the things that I have learned at the end of the day. But I have to say that it's kind of boring, because things just happen and repeat day by day, and the knowledge sometimes is really difficult, and sometimes I couldn't know why my the band score of my listening and reading skill is just fluctuate every time,
Yeah,
and I
because
couldn't sure.
sometimes when you have to read or listen to very difficult topic, it's hard.
Yeah, and I find it really irritating because I couldn't sure how can I get this band when I
How I
take the
could
real
get
test.
that ban? How I could get
So
that
so
ban
that
is
I
unwanted.
so that I feel bored, just looking to the future and imagine an occasion when I met bad luck and I fail in the test, and
Mm.
so that I feel really bored and I felt pointless in preparing for the exam and preparing for the IELTS test. So that's why I felt really bored because things just repeating every day, and the preparing time is long, but sometimes I feel pointless, you know.
Yeah, it's a bit pointless at times. Okay, so when do people feel bored and why?
Well, in my experience, I think that people normally get bored when they have done something repeating day by day for a long time, you know, because people always find something new interesting at some first times, but after that if they do it, they repeat it so many times, they would feel really bored, and for that reason, I believe that people that's a signal when people need to change. They should find try some new experience, and uh, the body uh, the body present a signal for them to change. That's when people feel bored.
Right. I see. So, what do people usually do when they've got nothing to do?
Well, to the best of my knowledge, it would may depend on each people, because many people when they got nothing to do, they just go sleep. Many friends of mine at school, when they got nothing to study for, at the end of the term, they would just go to the class and take some sleep before go to the before go to home go back to home. So, but when it comes to other people, like they have done something repeating and for a long time, when they feel bored, they would seek for new experiences, and they would like to try something new. Or when it comes to people who are rich in money, they would spend money on traveling to visiting new places and try new experience. And so that's what I think people usually do when they got nothing to do.
Mm-hmm. All right. So, why do children get bored more than in the past? Why not?
Well, I think children nowadays they feel less bored than children in the past, because in the past there was not so many sources of entertainment. Like they just have each other to play, to create new games, to play the same games every day, and normally they would have to take advantages of their environment to entertain, so that sometimes the resources are really rare. So I find that many times in the past they have nothing to do,
Mm-hmm.
especially when it comes to the evening. Because in the past there was no electricity or there was no light bulb. So in the evening, everything was like stopped, you know, because
Was quite what? Was
they
quite what?
couldn't see anything, so everything stopped and
Ah, okay. Everything
stopped working.
stopped.
Everything stopped working. So in the evening, their major thing to do is sleep. And when it comes to children nowadays, they have huge sources of entertainment. It's it's like never get rare, you know. Like they have mobile phone, now they have light bulbs, and for that reason they have many things to do, and so that I believe that children nowadays get bored less than in the past.
Mm-hmm. Right, but don't you think that people nowadays, children, they have less social connections because of smartphones, because of being staying all day at home, or they have more homework to do, so they have less social connections, so they get bored more than in the past because they have no friends, no real friends. Don't you think so too?
Mm, well, I believe that children, if they have a lot of friends to play with, and
To hang out with, you
when
mean?
they are to hang out with, and they have played with them for a long time, and when it comes a time when they are forced to do homework, to stay at home, they would feel really bored because they cannot spend time with other people, so that they get bored with what they are doing. They do not want to do this monotonous lifestyle anymore,
Mm-hmm.
and so that's why they get bored. But when it comes to children who are already leading a monotonous lifestyle since they was born, I believe that they would not get bored. Like they have maintained this lifestyle since they was born, and they consider
It's
this is
terrible.
a fact. And so that I think that it depends, you know.
Don't you think it's a terrible kind of life to live in?
Yeah, but many parents who are not capable of playing with their children, they would just want their children to sit at the same place to play in their cage, so that the parents can do whatever things they want effectively without being interrupted by their children.
Mm-hmm.
It's like having a baby is a kind of accident, you know.
This sounds funny. Yeah. All right. I have 3 cats, and I do have to spend times being with them. But luckily, cats sleep 16 hours per day. So it's much
Wow.
more easier to take care of cats compared to take care of a baby. They are much
Wait,
less demanding. I just need
wait.
to spend time to play with them, like 5-10 minutes, and then I hug them, and then I give them food, and I talk to them, and then repeat the same thing twice per day, or maybe 3 times per day, and they will love me
Mm,
unconditionally. But for
mm.
children, well, maybe they need the same thing, maybe. I don't know,
Well,
because I have never had children.
yeah. But the cats in my brother's house,
Uh-huh.
they I think they never sleep. Like they sleep just half a day, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Because every time when I open a door, they would they would they would appear immediately, you know. It's like they figure out anything that is happening in the house, and they would wake up immediately.
Mm-hmm. They
And
would immediately wake
sometimes
up
they
anyway.
and sometimes they it's like they do not sleep during the night, and I think that they sleep really little, you know.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think it depends on what breed of cats. But I do
Yeah.
think animals is a very good addition to any home. Very good addition. But you have to be able to take care of that pet as well. And you should never treat animal
Yeah,
like
that
an object. Never do that. Okay,
yes,
so do
that's
you
right.
think boredom can bring some benefits?
Well, yes, undoubtedly. Um, when we suffer from boredom, it means that our body has posed a signal to for us to um, for us to know that we should change, we should find something new to do, or we should figure out anything new to so that our brain it would be more creative to create new things, to figure out, to seek for new experience, and for that reason, creativity is one benefit. And also, I remember when I watched the movie Up, the old man follow a
Monotonous,
monotonous
đúng không hai? Monotonous.
monotonous lifestyle until he met a boy, and then he went on a vacation, or no, he went on an adventure with a boy, and then his life like is changed. He find himself like in the old days when he was young, and he he has the inspiration about everything in his life. So I believe that boredom can help us to figure out when we should change, when we should change our lifestyle to improve our life. So yeah, I believe that boredom can be a stimulation for us to change and heading to a better lifestyle.
Right, okay, very good. You aced this one. Very good. Okay, so it's 40, isn't it? Okay, 40. Done. And then I'll give you something a little bit more challenging. Right. Let's do 57 then.
Refuse
Describe a
rent.
thing that you refuse to lend. Miêu tả một thứ mà bạn từ chối cho mượn. You should say what a thing was. Who wanted to borrow it from you? Ai muốn mượn nó từ bạn? Why he or she wanted to borrow it from you? And explain why you refused him or her. Tại sao mà lại từ chối? And then, moment. And then part 3 of that, basically it started with what situation should people lend things to others and why? Có những trường hợp nào con người ta nên cho người khác mượn đồ, tại sao? What situation should people borrow things from others and why? Có những tình huống nào mà con người ta nên đi hỏi mượn mọi thứ từ người khác, tại sao? Like for example, think about things that are very expensive and they have a little usability, nó có ít cái khả năng sử dụng, hoặc là mình chỉ dùng một lần chẳng hạn, trong rồi khoảng thời gian còn lại thì không xài nhiều lắm. Like for example, áo cưới chẳng hạn, wedding dress. Normally people rent wedding dress from places, but sometimes people just buy it, and then when their friends knows, they would come and then try to borrow it from people. Hoặc là like others, for example, people often borrow cars or motorbikes from others in Vietnam, mượn xe.
Yeah, that's right.
But most of the time they borrow money, which is really bad, because in Vietnam it's a very bad situation when when people ask you to lend them money, very bad situation. Ở Việt Nam mượn một vấn nạn luôn á, mượn xong cái rất khó mà đòi lại được. A very 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 bad situation in Vietnam. Tại vì con người Việt Nam nhiều người không có giữ chữ tín. A lot of people in Vietnam, they do not keep promises, and they always try to take advantage of people, luôn tìm cách mà lợi dụng hoặc lạm dụng của người khác. Try to take advantage of people. Okay, think about what situation should people lend or borrow things from others. This is a huge question. Why is lending money to others a risky thing to do? Tại sao cho người khác mượn tiền là một điều rất là rủi ro? Should people borrow money to buy expensive things? Why or not? Why not? Con người ta có nên mượn tiền để mua những thứ mắc tiền hay không? Tại sao không? Well, you know, people they often borrow money to invest, you know. Con người ta nhiều khi thường mượn tiền để đầu tư á, xong rồi đòi lại không đòi nổi đó. Yeah, often it's like that, you know.
Yeah.
So, all right, you have time to think about this one. Please describe the thing you refused to lend.
Yeah, well, I'm going to talk about my mobile phone, and it was the time when when my cousin asked me for playing the games in my phone, but I refused that. Because I was at that time I was texting with my girlfriend, and I was trying to keep this secret away from my family. So I was afraid of the situation that she would figure out and tell it to the whole family, and that would create a huge problem for me. And also, I remember, and I know that my cousin is really bad at keeping promises, you know, because one it was on one occasion that she asked me to for my mobile phone, and I lent it to her, and she logged into my messenger and read all the
Of
message.
course she would
But
do that.
luckily she couldn't. Yeah, but luckily she didn't figure out the box chat with my girlfriend, and I was like half dead at that time, so that her characteristic prevented me from lending my mobile phone to her, and
I think her
that's why
personality.
I
I think it's
refused
actually
her.
her personality.
Yeah.
Tính cách của nó. Her
Oh,
personality prevented me
yes,
from. Yeah.
yes.
Okay, so. Oh wait. Never ever lend people your phone to do that, you know.
Yeah.
They can post things on your Facebook. Ah, right. Okay, what situation should
Oh,
people lend
yes.
things to others and why?
Well, in my experience, that would be attributed to they what can I say? They pre
Say again?
uy tín là gì ta?
Say again?
Uy tín.
Reputation.
Uy tín.
Reputation.
Yeah, reputation.
The adjective is reputable.
I believe that it would be reputable.
It depends on people's reputation.
Well, okay.
But
It
I think
depends
it's
on
better to
people's
use the word
reputation.
trustworthiness, you know. Dùng tính đáng tin cậy đi. It's better to use the word trustworthiness. If they are trustworthy enough, yeah.
Okay. It depends on people's trustworthiness. Worthiness. You know,
Trustworthiness, yeah.
If a person is reputable enough, we have the reason to lend those people things so that we can better our relationship, and so that in the future they would help us back, and but on other occasions, like we have known that these people, he had he this person, they was having problems, and in the past they also have a bad reputation, so that lending things to him would be a
Would
risky
never be
thing,
a
you
good
know.
idea, yeah.
So
Would
yeah,
never be a good
and
idea,
so that's
trust me.
why. Yes, so that's why I believe that lending things to others should be attributed to their trustworthiness.
Okay, right. So, what situation should people borrow things from others and why?
Well, I believe that it should be We should borrow things that we need, not the things that we want, because
Oh wow.
because the things that we need is something that we both want, and it's really it's really like it can help us to cope with our problems, so that um, borrow things from other people um, can help us pass uh, can empower us to solve our problems, and after that we can make up and um, what can I say, and we can make up and trả là gì ta,
Say again.
trả trả đồ
And we can give them
and
back. We can
yeah,
give them
and we
back
can give
what
them back.
we can give them back what we borrow them from them.
Yes, and on when it comes in terms of the thing that we want, it means that it does not necessary whether we can buy it or not. So sometimes we borrow money when we want, and after spending all those money, we cannot give the money back to the other people. So it can earn us bad reputation, and also it can also make us like living in poverty, and so that I believe that we should only borrow things when we need, not the things that we want.
Hmm. That's một câu triết lý nhỉ? That's a philosophy.
Yeah, that's right.
All right, but I
I learned
think
it
I
on
believe
TikTok.
so too. I believe
Hmm.
so too. Hmm. Okay, so why is lending money to others a risky thing to do then?
Well, I believe that it should be attributed to the occasion that the person who borrow money from us is they are getting in trouble, so they really need money, and after that after they have they have dealt with their problems. Maybe he has no money to refund, and so that I believe that getting money back from him is can be a hard task for us,
A
and
very difficult
sometimes
task, yeah.
yeah, and sometimes lending money to others, uh, we have to we have to bear in mind that we have lost that money in order to will not be disappointed when they do not give us our money back. So yeah, I believe that giving lending money to each to
Much
other people
money,
is a
giving
really
a lot of
risky thing.
money, a lot of money.
A lot of money is a really risky thing to do because
Mhm.
many people they do not hold their reputation. So sometimes it would be really dangerous because they have no ability to refund. You know.
All right, good. So should people borrow money to buy expensive things? Why not then?
Well, I believe that they shouldn't because um, borrow money means that we have some borrowing money means that we have some loans to pay and
Loan,
loan.
loan, O-N nha, a loan.
Okay, a loan,
Loan thuộc
loans.
là to pay.
So have some loans to pay, and for that reasons, borrowing money to buy expensive things means that we have huge loans, so that pay those loans can be a really problem for us. So I believe that we should just borrow money to buy some trivial things that we can cope with when we have money to pay those loans. But if we borrow billions of money to buy real estates, that could be really risky because we do not have the ability to create billions in just one night to
Of course not.
pay. So that I believe that we should just borrow little money or just few money to buy the things that we need. It's not the thing that
Instead,
we
I
want.
think people should never borrow money.
Yeah.
Thiệt sự luôn á, đừng có nghĩ cái chuyện là cứ mượn tiền là có, là cứ tha hồ mà muốn xài gì là xài. Cứ phải cố gắng kiếm tiền thôi, chứ đừng có bao giờ nghĩ đến chuyện mượn tiền. Never ever think about borrowing money, okay? It can only lead to trouble. Nó chỉ có thể mà đưa mình vào rắc rối thôi, đặt người khác vào rắc rối luôn.
Yeah.
To put you in trouble and put other people in trouble as well.
Well,
So never ever think about borrowing money.
But sometimes I think that borrowing money can help us overcome our problem, and after overcome it, we can make money and pay off, and that can be a great begin for us. Like nếu mà khởi nghiệp ấy, thì mình sẽ cần rất nhiều tiền.
Nhưng mà khởi nghiệp mà phải vay tiền ngân hàng chứ không mượn tiền người khác nha. Vay tiền ngân hàng mà em cho không đúng hạn, nó lấy nhà luôn á, nó lấy luôn thế chấp luôn á, đùa. Nhưng mà em mượn tiền người khác chứng tỏ là em đặt người khác vào một cái thế lỗ hơn em rất nhiều. Đặt người khác vào một cái thế bị hại hơn em á. Actually, if you borrow money from the bank, if you do not pay back the bank in time, they will take away your house, or they will take away whatever you have as cái từ thế chấp là gì ta? I forgot that one. But that is a very special word in banking. Okay, anyway, they will take away your home if you don't pay in time. But if you borrow money from people, then you are putting them at risk. A lot of risk, actually. And then you put them at a loss. You know? Tại vì họ có được lợi gì từ em đâu, mà họ bị lỗ rất nhiều luôn á. They do not have anything from you, but they actually at a loss, big one, you know? So I think that people should never ever borrow money from others.
Yes, but nếu mà trả đúng hạn thì vẫn ok thôi.
No, I don't think so.
No, I think that nếu mà kiểu có một cái quỹ, ví dụ là quỹ công ty chẳng hạn, thì nếu mà mình mượn tiền trong quỹ công ty xong rồi mình cũng trả lại, mình làm rồi mình trả lại cái quỹ đó thì
okay, fine if you think of that way. But to be honest with you, people always, người Việt Nam thực sự rơi vào cái bẫy nợ rất là nhiều luôn á. Nhiều người nợ nhau xong rồi lay ra không bao giờ trả.
Yeah, but sometimes borrowing money can help us overcome problems.
Well, sometimes only, but always trouble, you know, remember that.
Yeah.
Okay, let's stop here then.
Yeah, let's start.
Okay, that's the end of my videos. Please like, share this video with your friends, subscribe to my YouTube channel, and press on the bell button next to the subscribe button so you can get notified about my new uploads, okay? You can also press follow my Facebook, but please don't add me on Facebook as friends, okay? Cảm ơn các bạn đã theo dõi nha. Các bạn hãy nhấn vào like, chia sẻ video này bạn bè các bạn. Nhấn vào nút đăng ký kênh YouTube mình và nút cái chuông kế bên cạnh để đăng ký kênh đó, để mà các bạn sẽ được thông báo về những video mới nha. Các bạn cũng có thể nhấn vào nút theo dõi Facebook mình, nhưng nhớ đừng kết bạn Facebook mình nha. Thank you and see you. Bye.